Today on the Riff, Jeremy and Justin talk about Spartans and races, mainly Spartan races. We hope today is helpful and hopeful. Thanks for listening.
Hello, Riff Raff, Riff Nation, Riffites, Rifferanda. We are so glad you're here with us today. I'm with Justin.
Hey, man.
Justin, how are you?
I'm so good.
And we're going to get into why you're so good here in just a little bit. But welcome. Happy November, everybody.
Happy November.
Did you ever, just be honest with me, did you ever think you'd live to be in November?
I have hopes, but that's never a given, you know? Never a given.
Here we are.
Glad
here we are. And I am thrilled that you're with us today. We are excited. What a great week. This is a pivotal week in the United Nations. Now, this is getting dropped on a Monday. So I don't know when you're listening to it. If you're listening to it after Tuesday, you know who the President of the United States is. Right now, we don't. Do you know who the President of the United States is going to be on November 4th p.m.?
No.
Neither do I.
No.
So if you're listening in the future, then you've got an advantage on us, but what a pivotal week. So just, I'm going to start with who you going to, we don't do that. We don't do that, but it'll be interesting.
I would have told you. I would have told you.
Would you have told me?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you didn't ask.
Did you? Okay. I do want to know this. Did you ever run for anything? Would you ever? Yeah. Did you and would you? Let's do that.
Did I? No. Would I? No.
Did you run for like homecoming king?
No.
Class president?
No.
Sergeant of arms?
No.
Were you a big guy in high school?
Yeah.
Well, I don't mean big guy like, hey, big guy, but like big arms?
Yeah. But here's the deal. I haven't grown since I was like 19. So this is what you got.
Okay.
So same beard, same everything. It's the same. I have a little bit more gray in my beard, but I look pretty much like this for the past 25 years. So,
okay. How about would you? Would you run for anything? City council?
It depends. It depends.
On?
It depends how much fun I could have. I don't want to run policy. I don't want to run. But if I was like the mayor of fun.
Mayor of Funville? Yeah.
I would love it.
Yeah.
Hey, you've got
what if that's your platform? I'm the mayor of fun.
I've got 6 events that I'm planning for the city of Springfield.
Yeah.
And you're the mayor of fun.
Yeah.
Pays very well. Very well.
Yes.
I'd say 600, 700,000 a year.
Yeah.
For mayor of fun.
Yeah.
6 events. And I would do a bonus event if they're going to pay me over $500,000.
Yeah. Bonus based on attendance and different metrics we can figure.
No, just amount of fun. I don't think attendance would be, because that would.
Of who shows up to your fun events?
Don't care about that. Yeah. Because I don't want to have the pressure. You know what I'm saying?
That would actually probably take away from the fun.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense now.
100%. I feel like you would be a great VP of fun, just with the ideas that you just said. I'm not saying that.
Now,
I am not
going to get excited about it because I know how these things work.
I know.
And I know you're going to have a lot of people talking to you and you're going to have to make the best decision.
I know.
But if you ended up landing with me as your choice, I'm in.
I just can't. Can you imagine a Glenn Johnson ticket?
Oh my word.
Would you, can you see the graphics right now?
Well, you know what? And I don't want to mix business with pleasure, but I would wonder if we can use the North Point's creative team.
For sure. We would definitely do that.
And after hours.
Of course. Yeah, we want to be ethical.
Yeah.
But I would imagine also that all of our posters, okay, do you remember like the 1990s dinosaur pictures that were 3-dimensional that just kind of look like squiggly lines?
Yeah.
That you have to mess with your eyes to see the 3D.
Unless you naturally have an advantage.
I feel like that's all of our posters.
Yeah.
It's different. It's eye-catching.
Oh, yeah.
People are like, what is that? And then boom, 3D.
Yeah, if you're driving by the billboard, no, you're not going to get it.
You're not going to get it.
But if you pull over, get out of your car and stare at the
30 to 40 seconds.
Then you'll get it. People don't do that. So anyway, I was going to say I'd vote for you, but honestly, I got to know who you're running against.
That's fair.
Yeah. I'm not a party. I don't just go right down the line.
No.
And I know you. So I'm going to lean towards that.
Thank you.
At the same time, what if it's somebody that I'm like, so I don't want to commit to it, but I want you to know I'm interested in it.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
That's helpful for.
If I was on the ticket, I'd commit to it. So just keep that in mind.
Okay. That's +1.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yep. So anyway, I hope the election went well. If you're listening
I'm
after
sure
Tuesday,
it did.
if it's Monday, I would just say this: get out there and vote. Do your civic duty. That's great. And anyway, hey, today we're not actually talking about politics. We did this weekend, and that's plenty. If you woke up today and you're like, I really want to hear someone else talk about politics. One, you live in a gray era because you can turn on television anywhere, turn on any podcast, get there, or you can go to northpointchurch.tv and click on the watch this week's message, and we have that there. But today, I want to talk about something that I think is pretty awesome, and that's something that you did.
Are we talking about the mayor stuff again?
No.
Oh.
We're talking about something bigger than that. We're talking about you recently did your first ever... Was it your first ever 5K?
That's true.
But it wasn't just a 5K. It was a Spartan race?
That's a Spartan. Yeah.
A Spartan.
I did.
So one, start by telling us what is a Spartan, and then I want to walk through what did you learn from your Spartan
You want to talk
race?
about the Spartan race on the Riff? That's what you want to go through right now?
Exactly. That's what I want to do.
People, I just feel like they turned up the radio.
Yeah.
They just turned it up. They
So,
said, seat me in, buckle me in for another 20 minutes, sir, because I can't wait to listen to this.
Hey, and we're willing to go longer if we need to. Okay. So talk to us. What is a Spartan race?
Spartan race is, I don't know if you're familiar with like Tough Mudder. Do you know that?
My mom was.
Nope, that's not that's not exactly what I'm going for.
Okay.
It's the same company. So it's these obstacle course races that they put in the middle of the
You're
field.
telling me that there are companies that put on races.
Yeah. Yeah. And listen, okay, this is twofold. I feel like I could work for Spartan. I mean, I don't want to. I love being here at North Point. Great, awesome stuff, good stuff.
This
here.
saves me a tough conversation. I'm fine. Let's do this. Fine. Is this how it's going down right here? What is it? What is it? And why is it so attractive?
Great environment. Okay, so I turned 40, not just now, earlier.
Happy birthday.
Thanks so much.
I did miss your birthday,
You did
by the
miss
way.
it, yeah.
I mean, I didn't technically miss it because
well-
you didn't invite me to anything.
Well, I didn't invite anybody. It's just kind of an expected thing that you would write it down after this many years. Just in a calendar or like a digital
That's
calendar.
weird. I'm not one of those weird friends that expects
Totally.
me to remember your birthday.
No, I get that, man.
So,
I get that. So at the beginning of the year, I just kind of decided, man, I'm going to do something physically challenging, right?
Okay.
I've worked out for a long time, but I also understand that my intensity of workouts have gone down the past 5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you seen a doctor for that?
No. I haven't. No, it's not gotten to that. But I'm just thinking, like, I don't want that to be.
Is that like
next 10
interest
years.
or just ability? How would you define that?
I would say intention, right?
Okay.
I think that for me, like physical health, I want to be healthy, but I could also eat an entire box of zingers in one sitting.
Yeah.
And that's not
a
a challenge for me.
I'm shocked that you didn't bring up Little Debbie's. Is that the same company?
No.
Huh. You're more of a Little Debbie's guy. I
Love
thought.
me some Little Debs.
Yeah. But if you're going to a box,
If
you're
I'm
gonna
going
down
box,
zingers.
zingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Little Debs is it's a thicker product, right? So you've got a little bit more weight to a Swiss roll, and not a Swiss cake roll, as so many people call it. It's a Swiss roll. And it's a cake. It's from Switzerland also. So they're very fancy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but
a
zingers,
zinger.
I'm like, man. So I could eat an entire box. All of that to say, I didn't really have a goal set for my physical health. And then it's also harder for me to recover from workouts in the past 5 years. So I'm like, well, I got to dig into this again. So I set a goal. I was like, you know what? I'll do a Spartan race. Those are pretty intense.
Now help us out a little bit. So you also had how did you get to the spot where you even set that goal? You had community that was helping you on this one, right?
Yeah, I joined a coaching program, like a performance coaching program last year, and then they set you up with a cohort.
Performance like show choir stuff again.
It's mainly vocal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a lot of
that makes
dance,
sense. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
no, it's energy, work, love. Those are the three facets that they kind of walk through, and you really, really get into what your life is and what it could be in the next year to 2 years process. And you do this in community. So you're set up with a cohort of people that are going through that program as well, which has been so fascinating because the time that I chose of like cohorts that I could go to would be late at night because I'm like, I don't want to do it during the day. Like I'm working. I also don't want to do it.
Thank you for the integrity of work.
No problem. I'm not stealing time.
No.
And then I also didn't want to do it like during family time. So I was like 9 or 10 p.m. I can do that. Well, not a lot of people in the United States do that, I guess. So I got grouped with some people in Australia and India. So it's all via Zoom. But it's been so fascinating because of the worldviews, the culture. It's also made me realize that like Jesus is just so much bigger. Like for real, through the process. And that this is not like a Jesus-centered Christian thing that we're walking through within this, but you can just, it's been a cool experience. It's been a really cool experience. Yeah. So we all set up a goal to do a Spartan together. Now, together meaning in our own areas, but all of them are doing Spartan races in some capacity. There's one gentleman that will just be running a 5K. He's like 67. And which is like the most heartbreaking story to me. He lives in Japan. He's not Japanese. So
is that the heartbreaking part?
That's the heartbreaking part. But he went to Japan, I think 10 years ago, extremely successful businessman. But he started our cohort saying, I think I've lived my life at about 70%.
Oof.
And when you're 67, 68, I'm just like, good night. Like I just don't want to be that. So when it comes to physical health, I don't want to get to 50 and be like, I gave it a good 60%.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm gonna, if I'm here, like I'm gonna be here. So all of that said,
when was this that you decided to do it?
Last, I don't know, November.
So you had, so you had a lot of time to prep.
Yeah. So started training pretty hard in February and March.
How do you prep for a Spartan race? I'll explain what a Spartan race is.
Spartan race is, so they do a 5K, a 10K. So they do a sprint and what's called a super, but then they've also got a beast and an ultra, which are half marathons and marathons with the obstacles included as well. So a 5K, if you're like top 10%, takes you about an hour and 10 minutes, which is a long time for a 5K, but you're running through trails. So there's no roads. It's literally on a farm or on a ranch. And then you're running through the woods for 3 miles. And then you've got 20 obstacles inside of those. And those could be anywhere from, there was a 1/4 mile bear crawl through barbed wire.
1/4 mile?
Yeah. So they do it in 3 different instances. So you're just in this long line. I mean, it took a while to do that, and your body is beat. So then you get out of that whole thing.
Did you ever scratch your back?
0 times.
Wow.
0
Why,
times.
did you go like crab walk?
I did.
Scratch your stomach?
Nope, I just did rolls. I did rolls the whole time.
Someone pushed me.
So you've got that into what they call a multi-rig, where it's just a bunch of hanging like hoops and bars off of chains. And then it's all on an incline hill, and you've got to make your way through that. So then if you can't make it through an obstacle, then it's a burpee challenge. So you have to do a ton of burpees. So by the end of it, you got people just bleeding and throwing up, and like it's mayhem at the end of it. And you all kind of get together at the end because it all kind of funnels down into this like what they call rolling mud. So you've got 4 different pits to where you literally slide into mud that's like waist deep water mud. Then you have to get out of that pit. Goes into another one. So it's just like, so then you get soaked, then you have a slip wall. So all this stuff. So there's just a ton of people at the end of it. It's a cool experience. It's a really good experience. But I set that, and the way that you train for that is a ton of carrying. So weight training, all of this kind of stuff. I did all of that, but they really run you through like carry weight for a long distance. I'm like, well, that's weird. So you would start.
And when you first asked me for a piggyback ride,
you thought it was weird.
You know, at first it was weird. Because I didn't know why.
Right. And I should have started with the why.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Like, and yes, we get looked at in the office pretty odd.
Yeah. We're training.
But I can tell you love it. Number 1.
Yes.
Because there's a smile on your face the entire time. Yes. And number 2, it's helped me. It's helped me. It's helped me a lot. But you'll start with just carrying like 40, 50 pounds. And then I got up to carrying 50 pounds for a half mile. And then you just do that over and over.
50 pounds for a half mile.
Yep. And then you just Yeah. So like February, March, I thought my body was going to implode on itself. Like my rib cage hurt. I thought my heart was going to explode. Like it hurt, but it slowly goes away. Yeah. So all of that to say, what I wanted to do is I wanted to push my physical limits at the age that I am. And it also gets me into this space. I said this like a year ago on here, and we've talked about this. Like I really do think in the next year to 2 years, like if I am in the position I'm in, like physically, mentally, spiritually, the things that will be asked of me on the other side, I will not be able to do. So, and that's not because I professionally can't, it's because I privately have not done the work to get to a space to be like, I can take that on. I can take that on. So I know it's a physical thing, but there was so much emotional and spiritual like elements and energy to this that it was awesome. Like it was better than I thought, and it was harder than I thought at the same time. Because I'd made a commitment. I'm like, I'm not going to stop. Like whatever I'm doing, that was the goal. Like time, whatever, I don't know, but I'm not going to stop. And any obstacle that I do, I won't stop. I won't put anything down. If I fail, it will be because I pass out. Like that's kind of my whole. And there were 2 moments, one specifically that I thought I'm going to pass out. I'm not going to make it. Yeah. They had a 60-pound sandbag carry that you had to put it on your back. And then in Nashville, it's just hills all over the place. So then you're walking, it was almost a quarter mile with that, but you're in this hill area, and that's also at the end of the race. And there were 2 times I thought, I'm going to have to put the bag down. So, yeah. And I didn't pass out, but I definitely, it was close. It was pretty close. It was pretty close. But it's such a cool experience because you realize like your mind is so freaking strong.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So it was a great experience.
At what point did you have a really strong feeling that you were going to be able to finish this?
Right before I hit the finish line. So that
really?
No, after that moment, I was like, I got past it. We're good. Yeah. So yeah, it was super fun. The
okay.
girls
So
came with me.
I was going to say you brought your family with you.
Yeah.
So what was that like?
I'm trying to get Jamie to do one again. So she didn't do it with me. I just did it solo.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I'm like, hey, let's do one together next year. And she was like, yeah, no. She was like, did you see that woman throwing up and that guy bleeding? And then you all got in that water together? I'm like, yeah. But it's fine. I'm fine. So, no.
Did you ruin shoes?
Those were thrown away.
Really?
Yeah. They were. And I didn't even like them that much, honestly. I didn't like them.
So what do you eat to prep for this thing? Like the day of, or the night before.
The night before, we were in Nashville. That's
you guys, yeah.
So we went to the Grand Ole Opry the night before,
and
so
that was awesome.
It was great, but it wasn't like a real prep day.
Okay.
So we drove 7 hours, went to the Grand Ole Opry, and then nothing was open. So because we got out of there like 11, it was like an NBC special, Little Big Town, all these bands at the
Christmas thing.
Yeah, super fun. But nothing was open. So we went to TGI Friday.
Oh yeah,
which is if you own
on a Friday, right?
On a Friday, if you own a TGI Friday, awesome.
I don't. No.
Great.
Oh, you mean
I'm saying anything like that.
Okay, good.
But this one specifically might not be yours. Was the worst food I've ever had in my life.
Serious?
It was horrid.
Did you not go with potato skins? Because that's what you're supposed to get at TGI.
Oh, we had potato skins.
Did you?
Oh, we did. And those babies. Those babies had seen the light of day for a while because they'd been out. They'd been out. Oh. So that's what our pre-meal was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what did you do when you got finished? Did you like just go crash, take a nap? Did you go like pound some carbs? What do you do?
No, we went shopping in Nashville. So that's what we did.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Got some new shoes.
We got some new shoes.
Good.
Yeah. So yeah.
So what did you learn about yourself in this process?
I think the biggest thing is your mind is stronger than your body, like 100%. And I think there's so many elements to that that's applicable to what we're doing here. Because there's so many times I think there's physical constraints, whether it be anything that we're doing. Like when you look at even buildings, when you look at programs, or when you look at operational things, I'm like, these are all just physical things. Like our minds can figure this out. Like God gave us these incredible abilities to figure all of it out. Like everything, like we can make it better in some capacity. So I think the biggest thing that I learned is like just the process of giving up. I mean, we talked a lot about this, quitting and giving up. right? I think it solidified that. It's where I'm like, there's a lot of things in that space that I gave up. I could have gotten a better time if I did this or this or this, but the whole thing was like, I'm not gonna just stop, right? I might quit this, I might quit that. Here's the deal. I didn't make the rope climb.
Okay. So what? Tell us what the rope climb is.
Rope climb is
big
it's
old wall?
a 16-foot rope that you just climb. Hit a bell at the top. I've never been able to climb a rope. I don't have the technique down. I don't have it. Okay. And here is what.
Well, you're a slippery person.
I am super slippery. I'm always sweaty. I'm always sweaty.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
But here's the deal. I have become obsessed with climbing a rope.
Since then?
Yeah. Like buying stuff.
Did you try?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But
How high did
here's
you get?
the deal. 9 feet. But here's the deal. They put it at the very end of the whole process. So
you
your
have
body,
no strength.
your body is beat. So I've become like buying ropes. I'm setting one up next to the girl's tree swing in the back. So what it also teaches me is like the thing that defeats you is the thing that pushes you. So like I want things to defeat me. So if I would have gone through the Spartan and hit everything, that's the only obstacle that out of 20 that I could not do. I think I've been like, oh, cool. But in some way, this thing defeated me. And I'm like, I want a little bit more of that then, right?
Yeah.
And I look at that with everything that I do. So I thought about, it was a big reflective moment driving back because everybody was asleep except for me. Jamie stayed awake, but she wasn't verbal because it was late.
She is verbal.
She is verbal.
Yeah. Yeah. But not that.
So there's just a ton of reflection,
selective.
right? Of like when you look at parenting or you look at what I'm doing here at North Point or you look at the marriage that I'm in, you look at all of these things that I have going on. And there's so many times I think that we think, I just want it to go perfect. I want it to go so well. But out of that race, I'm like, the one thing that is going to push me further is the defeat part, right? And it's not like, woe is me, like, it's like, and it's also not a obsessive, like, I just have to, it's like, no, there's more. There's more. There's more. It's it was so helpful for that thing to beat me where I'm like, okay, I'll see you again. Okay. So I looked at our marriage that way where I'm like, I thought back of a lot of times where I felt defeated. And there's been 2 times I thought, ugh, like I don't know if I want to, this is gonna be a lot of work. And I'm like, what a blessing, right? Like what a blessing that challenge is when you spin it in a way where you're like, I'm going to get stronger out of this. I'm going to get better out of this. Yeah. We're going to have a stronger marriage out of this. So that's the biggest thing that I took away is like, good. Like, I hope it defeats me. And then if next year I'm like, great, all of them, I'm like, there's a 10K and I know that one's going to beat me. So I'm like, let's do it. So I loved it. Great process.
Did you cry?
Never cried.
Never cried?
Never cried.
Wow.
No.
I mean, it seems like quite an emotional experience. So
it is. It was an emotional experience.
Yeah. Did you dry heave out your eyes at least?
No heaving. No, dry or wet.
That's that was my follow up. I do feel like I should fill in our listeners though that we crossed a bridge after that.
Oh my word!
Didn't we? I was so proud of you. So proud of a Spartan race. Part of it is I can't even imagine doing a Spartan race. I can't even imagine getting to the spot where I would enjoy signing up for a Spartan race. And so for me to have a friend who's done the Spartan race, it's a big deal. So I gave you, for the first time in our history, a hug.
It was a hug.
It was a hug.
It was a hug.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're huggers now.
We're not huggers. We're not huggers.
No. I've gone in for 2 more hugs.
Yeah,
and it's been more of a block type of deal.
Keep it professional.
No, it's cool. So and
I don't want the rest of the staff starting to think, man, how come I don't get hugs? And I mean, Terrell hugs me all the time. Terrell, but we're family now,
right?
And Terrell hugs me more than Sydney hugs me, but that's all right.
That's fine.
But we're both family. But if I start hugging non-family staff members,
you can't do that.
Everyone's gonna want one. You know my position.
People
they're gonna be like, I want to hug Jeremy.
People have been talking about it.
Yeah, Brad. He'll sit outside my office door, and he'll be like, "Hey, is Jeremy in a good mood today? You think I could get a hug?" And so I've climbed out my window twice just because I didn't want to disappoint them.
Small window too, man.
I know. I went on a diet just so that I could. So, listen, one of the things I like about the Spartan race is it started with a group of people.
Yeah.
Who said, and so sometimes you siphon other people's suggestions, intentions, and aspirations and courage. And obviously a lot of what we do, we don't need to do a podcast on all the, the steps for it. But if you're following along, I think you do hear there's a sense of a power of community. Why is community such a big deal? We think one of the 5 things that everybody who's following Jesus should do is have Jesus-centered community. The kind of people who say, hey, what if we did this together? What if we became like this? What if we grew more in this way? And so I'm wondering who in your community could have a story of growth and success because you guys got together and thought out loud about what might be true in your generosity, what might be true in your, your compassion in the community. So I dig it. Way to go, Justin.
Oh.
Matter of fact, I don't have it prepared to give to you today, but if I could have ordered from BJ's trophy.
BJ's
shop,
Trophy.
You know what that shop is?
Well, you used to call it BJS.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's BJS Trophy.
But you just said BJ's.
I know because I'm trying to connect with you and honor you. To be honest, I couldn't remember which one I've laid my identity down as, but I wish I had a medal for you. But you probably got a medal. Did you get a medal?
Got a medal.
Yeah, you don't do that.
Of course, races. I got a medal.
But okay, let's go. Let's land with this. So you say you want to work for him?
I said I could work for him.
No. But the way you said "could" kind of sounded like a whoa. Would.
Here's what they do, right? I think, and I love organizations that are so missional.
Thank you.
No, I was just saying that as a blanket statement. Just a blanket.
Got it. My bad. Keep going.
I love it when somebody knows what the mission is. They know their why, and you can see every single thing they do goes back to that exact element.
Yeah.
Right. And their thing, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what their mission is. It's not like they've stated it on all of their signage, but I would think that it is, we can do hard things, right? Like that's kind of a feeling. Cause what was really cool about the community, you do it in heats. So there's a heat about 200 people.
Pardon?
Heats. You do it not in heat.
Oh,
you do it.
okay. I was like,
you do it. You do it
in different groups.
Yeah, and you do it with, there's people. There's people there.
Is there a lot of dogs in this thing?
You've got 200 people or so in that group that runs at that time. And what's really cool is that you just see so many different body types and ages and stages of life that's just all coming together. And you know that everybody there has some type of challenge, whatever challenge that might be.
Yeah.
And it's just a really cool environment. It's just a fun environment. And then also just the ability to do something like that with people. Like I did it by myself, but I was still pushed by the people around me. Like it's just a really interesting seat. People are helping people up. People are pulling people along. It's just a really cool space. So what Spartan does is everything that they do, even in their grounds, is based on that type of community. To where it's like you can do hard things, but not alone.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the cool part of it, to where everything was this community-based piece, from the vendors to the spaces where the spectators would watch. It was all based on, we're doing this together as a team.
Were you the most famous person there?
No. Shawn Johnson, gymnast.
Yeah.
And she
Olympic medalist.
Olympic medalist.
Was she in your heat? Was she?
No, she was after me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't see her.
So you
time.
finished before her?
Well,
no, you did?
Yeah. Well, I actually don't. Probably not. I started 30 minutes before her, and I'm pretty sure she beat me. Pretty sure. She's pretty fast. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. Well done.
Oh.
And
did you say you wanted to do one with me? Is that what you said?
no, I said I'm ready for helping you train next season. So
okay, all right.
Carry me 10 kilometers. That'd be great. Have a great week. No matter what happens this week in America, I have a hunch we can be salty people out there, like salt of the earth type of people. Let's go out there and have joy and love and impact. Have a great week. Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Riff. We'll have a brand new episode every week, wherever you find podcasts.